Night message for you, February 23, 2025. Brothers and sisters, the words of God to you are, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. Romans 5:3-4. Suffering is not something we like to talk about, and certainly not something we welcome. However, Romans 5:3-4 teaches us that suffering has a purpose. It produces endurance, builds character, and ultimately leads to hope. When we face trials, we can rest assured that God is at work in us, refining our hearts and preparing us for the hope that lies ahead. Let me share the story of William, 45, who had been through many trials in his life. He had faced health issues, financial struggles, and the loss of loved ones. Through it all, he often found himself asking why God allowed him to suffer. But one day, William read Romans 5:3-4, and the verse spoke deeply to him. It reminded him that God was not absent in his suffering, but was working in him through it, building endurance and character. As William reflected on the hardships he had faced, he realized that each one had taught him something valuable about himself and his relationship with God. He had learned patience, perseverance, and most importantly, hope. Today, William is able to look back at his struggles with a sense of peace, knowing that God had used each of them to shape him into the man he is today. Practical reflections. Embrace the purpose of suffering. While suffering is never easy, recognize that it is part of God's process of refining you. Trust that He is using your pain to produce endurance, character, and hope. Allow God to build endurance. Instead of running from your struggles, ask God to help you endure through them. Pray for strength and patience as He works in you. Develop godly character. Reflect on the lessons that suffering can teach you. How has it shaped your character? How has it drawn you closer to God? Look forward to the hope. No matter how hard the struggle, remember that it will eventually lead to hope. Trust that God has a plan, and that hope will come in His perfect timing. Encourage others in their suffering. As you experience God's work in your life through suffering, be a source of encouragement to others. Share how God has helped you endure, and offer hope to those who are struggling. A prayer for you. Lord, thank you for the way you use suffering to refine us and build our character. Help us to embrace our trials with the confidence that you are at work in us, producing endurance, character, and hope. May we always trust that you are with us in the midst of our struggles, and that in the end, we will emerge stronger and more hopeful. Amen. If this message has encouraged you, share in the comments how you've seen God use your struggles to build your endurance and character. Type Amen if you trust that God is working in you through your trials. Share this message with someone who is going through a tough time and let them know that their suffering has a purpose. May you find strength and hope in the knowledge that God is refining you through every trial.